Thank you all. Thank you all for being prompt. Thank you for coming to the ribbon cutting of 4MLK. It is wonderful to look out and see so many people in this amazing gathering space. And so thank you all for being here. You know, it's interesting that on this very day in 1983, there was another ceremony along here. And that was the ceremony actually to change the name of Santa Barbara Avenue to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, right? And now today, we are again adding a beacon to MLK, a beacon that brings a vibrancy to the city, the community, and the biopark. I'm Tom Osha, Executive Vice President of Wexford Science and Technologies, and I'll be the MC today. And I tell you that there are approximately 200 identifiable innovation districts around the world. However, not all districts are created equal. What sets them apart, what makes knowledge communities, as we call them, is the ability to amplify the intellectual talent, the innovation, and the infrastructure of a great university like the University of Maryland, Baltimore, right here across the street. They further leverage the proximate and geographic advantages of the region, and across Baltimore and the state of Maryland, we have many. And finally, they promote authentic opportunities and a sense of belonging for the people and the neighborhoods like Poppleton and Hollins Market and the other Southwest Baltimore communities. Knowledge communities successfully integrate university research, corporate innovation, startup activity, corporate engagement, and community inclusion. Now, the biopark is already recognized as a mature and impactful knowledge community. However, the addition of 4MLK not only enhances its presence along Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, but it expands the biopark's capabilities to provide programs and resources to amplify the research excellence of the university, support venture creation efforts across the region while expanding economic inclusion for all. It serves as a multidisciplinary epicenter that can connect life sciences, technology, engineering, and business. It features an engaging, visually interesting built environment that's meant to promote collision, interaction, and it activates and enhances the streetscape, the pedestrian experience, and celebrates the history of the neighborhood and its people through superior design, engaging public art, inclusive programming, and inviting spaces. It also offers collaborative lab spaces like Connect Labs by Wexford, which there will be tours of following the ceremony, that provides a platform for startups to grow their businesses. And it becomes this iconic center of congregation for all. Since opening our first building almost 20 years ago, the university has been a valued and steadfast partner and is an unwavering vision that has helped us guide the development of the biopark, and it provides the intellectual magnetism to buildings like 4MLK. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jim Hughes, the Senior Vice President and Chief Enterprise and Economic Development Officer for the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
Thank you. Wow, this is incredible. Thank you all for being here. It's been a few years that we've been wanting to do this building, and I want to thank Jim Behrens and the whole team at Wexford for doing this. Ted Russell will be speaking shortly. I admit I got panicky from time to time, and I saw that people were converting shipping containers into lab space. And I went to Jim and I said, could we just get a shipping container, or maybe 6 or 7, and put them in that field over there? And Jim said, no, just be patient. It'll be worth it. And you were right, this is worth it. I look out and see so many people who have been part of this. We've been at this, as Tom said, for 20 years. And I'd like to just mention the interaction with the community, the Southwest community, that has been such a rich part of this experience, and really has their input has made the biopark a better place. So just starting with this space, this is community space, so it's going to be open for all the communities. I see venture capitalists meeting with biotech startups, community members coming in for a cup of coffee, maybe meeting somebody that gives them an internship or gives them a job, but a comfortable place where people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds will come together, interact, and be a really convening place for the biotech community, but also for the community in general. And actually going back when we started this, Jane Schaub and I, Jane is just the tireless, indefatigable, just earlier today, Jim, this is no time for negativity, which she tells me that about once. I'm not a negative guy, but so Jane is phenomenal at just pushing forward. But Jane and I were at a community meeting on this very site in the sanctuary of Carter Memorial Church with the pastor of Carter Memorial, Carl Pierce, who was actually at the groundbreaking here, Elijah Cummings, who is really in many ways the godfather of the biopark, constantly did his banking here and was at any event that we did, and David Ramsey, the president at the time. And it was a very engaging, very direct conversation with dozens of community members. And what became clear in that and the 100 other community meetings that we were doing, we were not just creating a biotech cluster. This had to be something that was of the community, of the Southwest Baltimore community, something that was open to the community members and something also that impacted the community in positive ways well beyond the boundaries. So a lot of that was listening. We did not come to the community saying, this is exactly what we're going to do. The community really helped shape the biopark. And, we started, as we listened to the community, they said, well, sure, maybe you have all these wonderful services, all your great schools, but we can't access them. They're right across the street, but those are kind of imposing buildings. We're not sure where to go, who to talk to. So one of the early things that we did, I guess actually not that early, but Jay Perman led the creation of the Community Engagement Center that brought doctors, nurses, lawyers, social workers to the community, located about 2 blocks west of here. And a big part of it was listening to what the community wanted and then saying, okay, how can we provide that? But we also heard from the community is don't simply treat us as patients or people needing services. We'd like jobs. We'd like our businesses to be able to sell to the university. So the university is helping community residents apply for, compete for, and get jobs at the University of Maryland Medical Center. Saw Luke Cooper earlier, but Luke has been working with us, Dawn Rhodes, at helping to increase our procurement opportunities for small and local businesses so that we know about them and the businesses know about us and how to work. So that kind of community engagement, we're trying to have tangible impact through that. But we've also tried to not just attract biotech companies to the biopark and to help the local community and also to help the biopark itself. Groups like Joe Haskins brought Harbor Bank. So there had not been a bank branch here for over a decade, and Joe brought Harbor Bank, which is just across the street. They've had a bank branch here for over 20 years, providing financial services to community residents and businesses and biopark companies. Baltimore Community Lending, Enterprise Homes, Baltimore City Community College all came to the biopark, training thousands of people. And there's a lot of work to do. I don't want to suggest we've anywhere near done what we need to do, but we are listening. We are trying to do this together, so this is a shared vision. We're not trying to convince the community, please support us. We're working with the community to say, what do we want to collectively do? So that's the approach we've tried to take and that we will keep doing, and working with the Southwest Partnership to keep that moving along. And so just want to give you the other side of the cool lab space that you'll see after this. Now my pleasure and honor to introduce Bruce Jarrell, Bruce has been an incredible supporter of the biopark. When he was at the School of Medicine, helped to recruit one of the great institutes at the university located in the biopark, our Institute for Genome Sciences. And this building would not be here without Bruce's support. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. I just want to recognize our performers who you heard coming in the front door. I thought they were fabulous. It's the L Strings, and I think you ought to thank them. Thank you. I think it was already mentioned that when you drive down Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, particularly going this direction, this looks like this brand new big ship sitting here, something new. It changes the whole look of the boulevard, of the entrance to the biopark in West Baltimore, of the entrance to UMB. I think it's a spectacular transformation, and who would have ever dreamt that this would happen 25 years ago when this started with empty lots? And now there's over 30 companies here, over 1,000 employees, 9 buildings, plus our community engagement center. That's a transformation, and it's really an unbelievable transformation. So now that transformation took vision. Jim already mentioned the prior UMB president, Dr. David Ramsey, and don't underestimate Jim's vision in this too. It took that kind of vision. It took a lot of leadership from what we call our Biopark Board. It's chaired by John Prue, and a number of them are here. John, where are you? And other members of the board? There's John right there. Thank you, John. It took trust. It took trust from the Wexford Science and Technology Company, our biopark development company, to believe that this could happen in West Baltimore, that the fact that UMB and the city were here, we going to take this chance or aren't we going to take this chance? And the answer was they took this chance, and you see what happened. So I want to thank the Wexford leaders, Jim Barron, Ted Russell, Caroline Moore, and many others. They're visionary risk takers in this part of the city, and I thank you for taking this bet on us. Where are you, Jim? I saw Jim over here somewhere. And I would add to that Tim Regan, who I believe is here, and CEO of the Whiting Turner Company. Have they not built a beautiful building? This is just a spectacular place. So those are the internal members of the biopark family. But to make this happen, it took a lot of other partners, particularly elected officials. And so I'm particularly pleased that Mayor Scott is here. I believe, thank you, and thank you for your help. And I believe we have several city council members here. I know the council president was going to be here, but don't know whether I hadn't seen him yet or not. Mark Porter, Felicia Porter, Mark Parker, John Bullock. I already saw Congressman Bullock, or a council member. I'm too far ahead, aren't I? Okay, and finally, Colin Talbot, who's here as well. Colin, where are you? And thank you for your advocacy. And of course, none of this would happen without the support of the great state of Maryland, led by Governor Moore and Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller. Thank you for being here. And also the strong support of Secretary Jake Day and Secretary Kevin Anderson. So thank you for that support. So 4MLK was a long time in the making, but it's here now. And I just want to thank all of you in this room, particularly the elected officials and Wexford, for helping us make this happen. You know, we've learned a lot about this biopark over the last 25 years. Jim mentioned some of the things from the community. I want to mention some of the things we've learned from the business community. We've learned that if you put world-class university researchers in a biopark next to the opportunity for small businesses, they will arise, they will occur. People will settle here to put their new idea to the idea of becoming a company because they're close to UMB expertise. And there's some great examples of that. One of them is a company called Paragon, who Marco Chacon is here somewhere, with a collaboration with many UMB faculty. Illumina, another one, a DNA sequencing company, came here because University of Maryland had the Institute for Genome Science in Biopark Building 2. And Pharmaron, a clinical trials company who is here to help our Center for Vaccine Development do clinical trials in the community. They have been a great resource to our university, and they're here because of this university. But there's also been important other collaborations. Big companies like Becton Dickinson, who have put a research lab here and have lent their resources, their expertise to make this an even richer environment. It's proximity to UMB that makes these partnerships happen, and I couldn't be more pleased about it. 4MLK was a long time in the making. I think I heard 13 years, seemed like a longer time than that to me. It took a long time, but it's already a beehive of activity. There are several startup companies already settled here in UMB, and just last week, the University of Maryland College Park President Pines and I announced the brand new Ed St. John Center for Translational Engineering and Medicine. We will have in this building College Park engineering faculty, along with their students, elbow to elbow with UMB physicians and other health science investigators and their students, dreaming up new ideas, creating new discoveries to improve human health. The first researchers have already moved in. This is a reality already. And I don't know how excited you are to this, but I'm very excited. We have needed bioengineering in Baltimore for a long time, so now we have it. And I want to thank several special people, Ed and Jennifer St. John, Sharon Akers, Larry Maykrantz, if he's here, and Lori Rice from the Ed St. John Foundation Board, here in the audience, who have made a very generous donation to both universities to make this joint engineering center happen. So Ed and Jennifer and Sharon and Larry and where are you? I can't see that far back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So all of us are here, and I think of this as a table. We've helped set the table for Baltimore's future. Now, yes, I know the mayor does that, and the governor and the lieutenant governor do too, but so do we, okay? And this biopark is a good example of another plate at the table to help make Baltimore great. And as you probably know, there's been an excitement about Baltimore in the last year or two. And I don't know whether any of you listen to the radio. I'm told by my kids that nobody listens to the radio anymore, but I listen to the radio. And yesterday I heard C4 interview the new city council president, Zeke Cohen. And you could hear the excitement in the voices as they were talking about what's going on in Baltimore and its recent progress. And they talked about improved security, fewer homicides, the promise of improved infrastructure, faster permits, decreased property vacancy, important topic, a focus on economic development. And I want to thank Mayor Scott for leading this progress. Thank you for that. There was one comment that was made by the council president that stuck with me. And it was of this nature, and there are now, I emphasize now, many people who believe in Baltimore and want it to succeed, and actually believe now that it can succeed. And you know what? I agree with them. I'm one of those who's an optimist on this. We have made progress, and we're not done yet. But if I step back, I would add one additional comment to that comment, and that is, I believe that there are a few of us, a few who have believed in Baltimore for many years, a few who have been actively engaged in Baltimore's success for many years, a few who have had the tenacity, the determination, endurance, persistence that it takes to succeed in Baltimore. Many of you know who these individuals or groups are, and I'm not going to name them all, but I'm going to name one. And that's the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and this biopark, and all of those associated with. It has taken tenacity to get to this point, And we have stuck with it, and we will continue to stick with it, even though it has been difficult, sometimes controversial. And it's always needed resources and expertise. And of course, most important, it's needed goodwill. But we've had the goodwill of this community and our city, and I think our university, I think West Baltimore and the state of Maryland are better because of these kinds of efforts. So I'm here to celebrate 4MLK with you, not just because of its impact on research and small business development, but also because this signifies a commitment to Baltimore. That commitment is best stated in a phrase that is commonly used to express deep commitment and long-standing involvement of a cause. It's been popularized by the hip-hop community. Now, you could probably all guess that I know everything there is to know about the hip-hop community, right? Okay, and the mayor will set me straight because he follows me on this. But it's a really important quote, and I think it applies to us here, to this biopark, and those of us who are in this city. And I'll say it in my language, but I'll get corrected. I know that. We're not new to this. We're true to this. We're not new to this, we're true to this, and I want to add, and UMB is not new to this, we're true to this, and we will remain true to Baltimore. Thank you very much. Now that I'm done rapping, probably my first, I have the pleasure of introducing a great friend of UMB and leader of our state, Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, the 10th Lieutenant Governor of the state of Maryland. She is the second woman to serve as Lieutenant Governor and the first woman of color in immigration elected to statewide office. And I think, as you know, she has been a champion for matters that are very important to us in this city, for our children, for the future of STEM education and economic development. Lieutenant Governor, I welcome you to the stage. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Gill. Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is great to be here. And Dr. Gerald, I just want to say thank you for your warm introduction and especially for your extraordinary leadership here at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. Can we give it up for him, please? Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but Dr. Gerald and I have a couple of things in common. Turns out he's an engineer, and so am I. But he had to one-up me by becoming a doctor as well. Right? Right. Dr. Gerald, I have to say, you are probably every parent's dream. I can just see my mom right now. If you were her son, she'd be saying, "Did you know my son is an engineer and a doctor? And by the way, he's also a president of a world-renowned university?" That's what my mom would be saying. Anyway, Dr. Gerald, I hope you never meet my mom because she'll think that I've been a total failure in life because the bar you've set is so high for all of us. But thank you for your extraordinary leadership. And Mayor Scott, it's always great to be in your city. Is this guy the coolest mayor in the nation or what? Isn't he? Your city, the city of charm, unbreakable spirit, and of course, the Ravens, right? Go Ravens. Now, it's truly an honor to be here with such an impressive gathering of academic and business leaders, elected officials, and dedicated public servants. Each of you have been instrumental in bringing this vision to reality. And yet, all of us know progress like this doesn't happen on its own, and it doesn't happen in isolation. As the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reminds us, and whose name this building and the road bears, that progress is neither automatic nor is it inevitable. And progress cannot happen without partnership and collaboration, partnership between public and private sectors, funding for lab equipment and grants to support the development at 4MLK were made possible through the collaboration of the Maryland Department of Commerce and the Department of Housing and Community Development, Advantage Maryland, and the Baltimore Development Corporation. Then there's the partnership between Mayor Scott's administration and the Moore Miller administration. The journey to establish the 4MLK began in March 2023, almost immediately after Governor Moore and I took office. It was a shared vision to strengthen Baltimore's life sciences sector. Because when the state's largest city thrives, Maryland succeeds. That partnership is also between UMB and the city and state is critical too. The biopark, which has 1.2 million square feet of lab and healthcare space, has been a cornerstone of Baltimore's life science and technology industry for more than 20 years, as you heard earlier. Nearly 36 companies are already located in the biopark, which employ more than 1,000 people, and once it's fully leased, 4MLK will house the largest cluster of biotech companies in the greater Baltimore region, bringing an additional 1,000 jobs to downtown Baltimore. And there's the partnership in this lab space between engineering and medicine. And it will produce innovations that will serve and improve people's lives. The 4MLK will connect the community to modern and collaborative lab space, driving economic growth and creating real opportunities for entrepreneurs. Partnership and collaboration will empower us and push boundaries, redefine what is possible, and ensure that no one is left behind in the pursuit for a better tomorrow. So progress is neither swift nor is it easy, but it will always be fueled by our collective determination. So let's continue to make this city proud, both in the labs and on the field. And as always, go Ravens. Thank you.
You know, it's no accident that the term Innovation District was first coined in a book by Bruce Katz called The Metropolitan Revolution. They are at their core engines of municipal economic, social, cultural, and workforce impact. Knowledge communities like the Biopark, and especially the building that we're in today, are welcoming porous hubs, not just of innovation, but gathering places for community members, artists, musicians, citizens, scientists, and neighbors. Encouraging the development of such inclusive spaces takes the active participation of supportive local leaders. We are thankful for the support of the City of Baltimore, and I invite America's coolest mayor, Mayor Brandon Scott, to take the stage.
Good afternoon. All right, see, they have to hear us in Buffalo all week, so we're going to try that again. Good afternoon. That's more like it. We have to let them know that we're bringing the heat and that we are going to win. We will help Buffalo experience another playoff choke, which they've done many times over the years. Thank you, Madam Lieutenant Governor, for being here in Baltimore again today. You know, if you ever are looking for a new home, we know we will welcome you here to Baltimore. We have many beautiful homes, but anytime you want to come to Maryland City, you're always welcome. I want to also say thank you to Councilman Bullock and my other partners in government who are here today, but really a special thank you to the Wexford team and everyone across the University of Maryland family, because we know this project would not have been possible without them and their vision. So that is Tom Osha, Ted Russell, obviously the president and Dr. Bruce Gerald. And Bruce, for sure, you are not new to Baltimore, you are true to Baltimore, so thank you very much. Jim Hughes, Dr. Gladwin, and Jane Schaap. It's really, truly an honor to be here to celebrate the grand opening of 4MLK, a project that marks another transformative step forward for the great city of Baltimore. All of the partners that we have pulled together from the University of Maryland, Baltimore and Wexford, and most importantly, the Southwest Baltimore community to make this a reality. This building represents something more than most. 4MLK is not just another building. It's a testament to Baltimore's future as a hub for discovery and one for a continuance of hub for opportunity. There will be many folks speaking about the impact of this facility that will happen throughout the years. We're talking about a $180 million investment helping companies grow right here in Southwest Baltimore. A 250 square foot facility, the largest of its kind in Baltimore, creating 1,000 new jobs right here in Baltimore, doubling the current workforce of the biopark. All of those numbers fill us with pride. For me, I don't go back 20 years, Bruce. 20 years ago, I was in college, so I can't go back that far. But 6 years ago, when I had a different title as the council president, the legislation to move this forward was one of the things I was most proud to introduce it, and very happy to be here today to see the back end of that and know what it will mean for Baltimore. Because as we all collectively, and Bruce is just right, this is not just about what those of us in City Hall or in Annapolis do. As we all of us who are Baltimoreans, all of us who are true to the greatest city in America, continue to build Baltimore's renaissance, it is projects like this one that are going to fuel the economy that makes that renaissance possible each and every day. It's going to continue to build Baltimore's reputation as a destination for the very best minds in our country to come and research, work, and fall in love with not just crab cakes, but everything that is Charm City. And perhaps the most important part is accomplishing in the way that we're trying to accomplish everything in Baltimore, by focusing also in the community where it's located. For West Baltimore, 4MLK represents something we've always aspired to have. The Civic Lounge, flexible lab space, and public plaza demonstrate that this building isn't just for researchers and entrepreneurs. It's a place for connection, creativity, and community for those who are already here. Thank you to all of our partners, from the Maryland Department of Commerce to BDC to State DHCD, everybody that had anything to do with any amount of money that allowed this space to be here, because this is what partnership looks like, and this is what partnership produces. A future that all can see, that all can aspire to, and all can play part in. It's a beacon of what Baltimore stands for: integrity, progress, and the determination to uplift every corner of the city. So thank you, congratulations, on to Buffalo and on to Kansas City after that. Thank you very much.
All right, I love it. All great knowledge communities have at their core an intellectual anchor, like the University of Maryland, Baltimore. The density of brilliant minds, the creative problem solvers who will call 4MLK home is remarkable, and will not only continue to position the biopark as an epicenter of innovation, but their presence will continue to elevate Baltimore as a premier life sciences, technology, engineering destination. Moreover, the School of Medicine has continued to build upon its strengths, the intellectual strengths of its faculty, students, its research enterprise, commercialization opportunities, and community outreach. And its leader has spoken regularly about the importance of pursuing problem-centered research to improve health outcomes for all. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dean of the School of Medicine, Dr. Mark Gladwin, who's going to share his thoughts on this special day.
I know I have to be brief because I'm standing between all of you and champagne over there, so happy hour waits. But you know, what an iconic, stunning building that has absolutely transformed MLK and transformed the entire University of Maryland, Baltimore. We're thrilled that across the way you see a tower rising in front of you, the Stoller Center for Translational Medicine, which will be the home of the University of Maryland Greenebaum Comprehensive Cancer Center, and here, 4MLK, which is going to be the home of entrepreneurship, advanced engineering and medicine and bioengineering. I also want to thank Jim Behrens, Carolyn Moore, and the entire Wexford team who have pulled this off in partnership with Jim Hughes and President Gerald and the whole UMB team. Also want to shout out to Tim Regan and Whiting Turner, who have built this incredible palace. So my job is to very briefly share with you what will be here, which we're thrilled about. We have Marco Chacon right here in the front, who is a member of our Board of Visitors, but a serial entrepreneur. And on the third floor in our incubator space, the first startup company will lie, Irazu Oncology. And so we're thrilled that that will be there. This is a company that has been founded based on intellectual property developed right across the street in the School of Medicine. So thank you, Marco. We're also thrilled to announce, if you take the elevator up to the fourth floor, I don't know if we're allowed, but we did it last week, so you probably can. There are stunning state-of-the-art wet labs and office and meeting space that are going to be the home to the new Edward and Jennifer St. John Center for Translational Engineering and Medicine. This is going to represent a bold vision for breaking down silos between traditional engineering, bioengineering, and medicine. And this represents really a unique partnership between the University of Maryland College Park School of Engineering and the Department of Bioengineering, and my partner there, the Dean of the School of Engineering, Sam Graham, coming together with the University of Maryland School of Medicine. So bringing engineers, bioengineers, and physicians together. What are we going to do on that floor? Well, already we are in the advanced planning, and we will launch with the next admission cycle a whole new class of physicianeers. So this will be 10 people, elite students admitted directly to University of Maryland College Park for an undergraduate degree in engineering or computer science, who, provided they can keep their grades up, they will be automatically matriculated into our medical school with the vision to bring together advanced training in AI, computational science, all arms of engineering, with a focus on bedside care and addressing generational challenges in medicine together. There will be 10 students per year in this brand new cutting edge track. Really thrilled. Imagine on this fourth floor, we are going to recruit together almost 20 scientists that work in collaborative open labs. You can see from one end of the building to the other, open labs working together, bringing engineering and medicine together. So imagine a future where we use AI-driven analytics of wearable devices at home to diagnose disease before they happen and to take care. Imagine developing together working together with civil engineers, electrical engineers, data scientists to develop a home hospital where we can keep people as they age at home with the kind of care that they could receive right over here at the University of Maryland Medical Center. And imagine a world where we can design drugs in silico, so we can come up with new drugs for new targets, all done up here on this fourth floor. So we're absolutely thrilled about this, and we owe a huge debt of thanks to Jennifer and Ed St. John, who have given an amazing $10 million philanthropic gift to make this happen. Based on this catalytic gift, the Empower Fund of the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and University of Maryland College Park has matched those dollars to bring more than $20 million to realize this vision above us on the fourth floor. And with that, I hope I've shared just a glimmer of what the future will hold, and I hope you have some time to go up to the fourth floor. And thank you again for your time, and we'll hopefully get you more quickly to your champagne.
We are almost to champagne time. But first, innovation districts don't exist in isolation. They are important drivers of regional and state economies as well. They leverage resources and they maximize investment to produce enhanced workforce opportunities. And so we appreciate the support of the Greater Baltimore Committee, and now I invite their Chief Economic Officer, Lackey Boyd, to the stage to share a few remarks.
Hello. So I am a representation of in-migration of talent to the Baltimore region. I am new to GBC, not new to this work, and have enjoyed being here in the Baltimore region. I bring greetings certainly from our CEO, Mark Anthony Thomas. If you're not familiar with the work of the GBC over the past 2 years, we welcome you to understand that we are a modern economic development and civic organization. I'm going to keep my comments brief as well. This is a marquee economic development asset that we now are able to signal global investment in a very different way than we did before this opened. Physician engineers, I love it. I'm going to use that the next time I'm in an investment attraction, business attraction conversation, right? So I want to be clear. I want to echo something Lieutenant Governor Miller said. It is so important to understand in this work that this kind of investment is not inevitable. Thank you, UMB, for deepening your investment in the community you are already in. Thank you, Wexford, who has a global stage to choose from, for choosing the Baltimore region and making your investment here. You are accelerating our economic development. You are adding an asset. Innovation, commercialization, community, and fundamentally investment. That's what this represents. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just say thank you for that investment. This is a key economic development asset. GBC's charge, and in particular my economic investment portfolio, is going out and reintroducing, and in some cases introducing, the Baltimore region to global investors, global businesses. This helps us answer why Baltimore. You're standing right inside of it. So thank you.
And finally, while 4MLK is an iconic building and it stands as a beacon along Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, innovation isn't just about buildings. It's about bringing together diverse ideas and people. And as a matter of fact, when we were sitting in a conference room led by Jim Behrens and the project team was around trying to figure out what the address would be, what we wanted was one MLK. Turned out we're on the wrong side of the street for that. So we decided 4 MLK, for everybody and for all, is what this is about. And so I will let our CEO, Ted Russell, come up here and tell us the mission and purpose behind our love for Baltimore and this building.
Thanks, Tom. I was told I had about 2 or 3 minutes. And so as a developer, staying on time and on schedule is of critical importance, notwithstanding the champagne that's sitting over there. So I just want to thank Mayor Scott, Lieutenant Governor Miller for being here today. We greatly appreciate your comments and perspectives, specifically recognizing the economic importance of and the community impact that 4MLK has here to Baltimore. I also want to thank all of you for being here today. It's been a long time coming. And as you may imagine, it takes a lot of collaboration and teamwork to make a project like this happen. A dynamic anchor like the University of Maryland, Baltimore, an innovative design team like ZGF, and an incredible contractor like Whiting Turner. But it also takes a ton of capital. So I'd like to specifically thank our capital partners, Ventas, GIC, as well as our new market tax credit partners of Harbor Bank, U.S. Bank, for your trust in Wexford, and most importantly, your belief in Baltimore. Though Wexford is now known as a national development company, our roots are based here in Baltimore and they run deep. Specifically for myself, born and raised here in Baltimore City, which is why 4MLK is so important to us and to me. I think it's actually been about 15 years, Jim, since we delivered our last project here at the biopark. So the opening of 4MLK really gives us an opportunity to reintroduce Wexford to our community by bringing the experience that we have gained developing innovative ecosystems across the country in areas like Philadelphia, North Carolina, St. Louis, Phoenix, and California back to our hometown. Thus, 4MLK not only represents a new statement project for Wexford, but the opportunity to create a new gateway here to the biopark that demonstrates the most forward-thinking components of design, collaboration, innovation, and community engagement, and truly showcases the power of a Wexford knowledge community. In fact, we're all experiencing some of that power here today, gathering together in this large, open, and inclusive lobby, which has already hosted about a dozen community events and investment showcases. Additionally, Connect Labs, located on the 3rd floor, which you've heard a little bit about, creates a unique innovation infrastructure, providing support to startups not only from our universities, but to startups from across the region as well. And finally, on behalf of the 65 employees of Wexford, we'd like to welcome you to the new world headquarters. We hope that you'll consider our home your home, as 4MLK was created for you. So thanks again for being here, and we hope to see you here often. Tom, let's get to it.
Cut.